Welcome, everybody, to today's call to talk about careers in data analytics. This session is really a chance for us to talk, share, even ask questions, anything that might be on your mind as you're starting out on your journey in data analytics. So don't hold any questions back. Feel free to come off of mute and share any question that might come to mind. And as we really dive into data analytics and what that might mean for you, I did want to share my career and kind of walk you through my career journey, how I started, and where I am today. Right now, this is a snapshot of my career path. I do have an announcement to make as well towards
Okay.
this discussion. And you can see that there's a link to my LinkedIn profile. I highly recommend, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile already started, that you do create a profile just to see career journeys of other people in addition to me and see what path they took to reach their goals in data analytics. You'll notice that at the very bottom of my career path, I started out my journey at Bank of America. I
Yeah, I
started
remember
as
that.
an investment specialist, working with clients, helping them place trades in their account and doing a number of different operational things to help them achieve their investment goals. I was the number one rep across the nation for 4 quarters in a row. So I kind of had like a uh, natural talent for sales and helping people and really uncovering the problems or solving the problems that they had with their account. Part of that experience was getting good marks or ratings from customers. Whenever you ended that phone call, they would have a chance to rate you, like on a scale of 1 to 5, and I would always get good marks. And that's why I was the number one rep across the nation for all those quarters. I did move laterally into a training role and worked in learning and development as a corporate trainer. I wanted slightly different career change to do something different other than being on the phone with clients all day long. So it was a nice change and it gave me a chance to learn about HR and understand talent and understand the data behind the things that people were learning and to be able to measure learning. Part of that experience allowed me to collect learning data. At the end of every course I taught, the learners got a chance to take a survey. So that is data that they were providing me about their experience in the course and telling me how well the course ran. So I had a chance to build charts using Microsoft Excel to create visualizations, understand the data, and even take on projects that required me to build KPIs or key performance metrics for learning to see what we could measure uh, for our learners and what we could measure to keep track of how well they were doing in their job. So I handled a lot of learning data. I also then took a role out west in Portland, Oregon. So I moved across the country from the East Coast and I worked with a company called Epic, which handled class action lawsuits. And their goal was to manage different class actions as projects and report against how well the class action was delivering money for the claimants that were deserving or were receiving the money. So I did a lot of reporting in Excel. That was really my first chance to take a look at tools like SQL, in addition to Microsoft Access. So I don't know if you've heard of SQL or Microsoft Access, but those are the tools I was using in that role. In addition to project management skills, I was handling about 12 projects at one time. It was really demanding, but I absolutely loved the job. And then I moved back out east to the East Coast to a city called Jacksonville, where I went to college. And I worked for a company called Acosta. So Acosta Sales and Marketing is responsible for collecting data. And they collect data on retail stores and how well products are moving out of retail stores. So they have associates or reps that take handheld devices like mobile phones, and they log into an app and collect data on products. And my job was to analyze that data and create reports. I created reports using Microsoft Excel. I also created reports using Power BI, one of the softwares we'll talk about. And I did a lot of heavy report building. So a majority of the role, about 70% of it, was building reports, understanding the programming languages in Power BI, and being able to create graphs and create reports that executives would look at in Microsoft Excel, and learning a little bit of data modeling and what it meant to connect different pieces of data together to create one beautiful report. That meant I was looking at descriptive statistics. I also did some work on prescriptive statistics. I was on a project that handled data-led alerts, which were developed by a data scientist that the company had hired to analyze data and actually predict which items in the store would not be available for purchase and not be available on the shelf. I did not come up with the data model, the data scientist did. But as a business intelligence analyst, I was responsible for creating the reports that data produced. So that was that role. And then I got tapped to work at KPMG in measurement and evaluation, where I was still working with data, and I was able to learn new tools that analyze data and transform data and blend data, tools like Alteryx, and also expand my use of Microsoft Excel. I was still using SQL, the structured query language, and I was still using Power BI. And I was really the expert on my team with Power BI. And one of the reasons I was told that I was hired was because I knew Power BI. Nobody on the team knew it. So I was bringing a skill set that they didn't have on the team I was joining. And I got hired on, and the measurement role focused on looking at data in HR, in learning and development. So it was specific to that domain, learning and development. And just a few weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, as of this recording, I got the word. I did some interviews, and I got the word that I was selected for a role at KPMG, so still the same company, but I will be working as a data analyst. So my job title will be changing. I'm still going to be working with data, but I'll have a broader view of data, and I'll be working on different types of data, not just learning data, but data on geographical representations, data on retail, data in healthcare. So I'm really excited about starting that role in April and being able to touch different types of data and analyze different types of data. So I want to stop and ask if you have any questions. No, you don't have to leave any question off the table.
Okay. Who's the creator of Power BI?
Microsoft is the creator.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a power. Okay. Did Microsoft had something else? Was it DBA? What is it?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do
they
they
did.
still use it?
Yes, they do. They still use the DBAs, and the DBAs are database administrators that,
Okay.
yes, and they administer the software program called SQL,
Okay.
and that is a Microsoft product as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of SQL. I've definitely heard of Access. It's part of the Microsoft Office.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations about your job. Like becoming an analyst now.
Thank you.
And um, I just wanted to ask, so have you used Tableau at all? Like, is it more powerful to do Power BI compared to Tableau, or
Yeah.
does it really depend on where you're going to work?
Mhm. Yes, so I did learn Tableau on my own. None of the roles I've been in required the knowledge, the deep knowledge of Tableau. I'll give you an example. At one point, Acosta was using Tableau, but when I joined the company, they had switched to Power BI. So I learned Power BI. They were no longer using Tableau. When I joined KPMG, they were using Tableau and then they switched to Power BI. That's one of the reasons they hired me, because they were switching and needed someone with that expertise. In my opinion, when we talk about the tools, I think Power BI offers more variety and offers more powerful integrations when you're trying to model data and trying to bring in data from different sources. I'll give you an example. You might have data sitting in Excel. You might have data sitting in a database like SQL. You might have data sitting in another type of database called Cassandra. So you might have different types of data in different areas, and Power BI really marries that data together so you can have different sources and combine the data from different areas. You can hypothetically do that in Tableau, but it's a lot more easier and it's more powerful, in my opinion, to do it in Power BI.
Okay. Good.
So, for this start, would you recommend just like learning both or just focusing on Power BI? Is it like becoming more trendy to use Power BI, or would it still be essential to know both?
In my opinion, it's essential to know both. I think
Okay.
there's value in learning both softwares, because you never
Mm-hmm.
know. What if your company decides to go back to Tableau, or you get a
Mm-hmm.
job offer for a company that only works in Tableau? So you want to be prepared for both scenarios. So learning both is really the way to go.
Okay, thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, it'll make you a stronger analyst.
Okay. Now, these softwares like Power BI, uh, where are they based? Are these online schools? Are they software suites you can buy?
Mhm. Both. So Power BI is free. You can download it in on your computer, and that free download allows you to test out, try out the software, create and develop reports, and even share them with other people. Tableau also has a free version called Tableau Public. You can download it for free and create and share reports with other people. So you can do that all for free. And I'll send you links to both of the downloads so you can download them and get started.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Um,
And one thing I want to point out, you'll notice in my career journey, none of my titles, the job titles, actually say data analyst. So you can be flexible in the type of jobs you look for as you look at the job description to see what kind of work they'll be doing, what are they looking for in the skills. The job description really describes what each job will do, even though the title might not be data analyst. However, when you look at compensation, how much you're going to be paid, sometimes the job title makes a big difference. And the data analyst job title might get paid more money, for example, than a business intelligence job title. And also the size of the company matters as well, whether you're working for a small company, a mid-sized company, or a large corporation. So that is something you'll want to take into consideration and look at the company that you're applying to, as well as the job title itself. Because you might already be working with data right now, which is really great. And that brings me to the next slide. You have a lot of different titles, job titles in the industry. So data analyst is just one of them. I don't want you to limit yourself to just that, because you might find enjoyment in being a data scientist, which is slightly different but similar to the data analyst role. Data scientists work more with building models and training machine learning models. They also work with artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and they also work on creating predictive analytics and being able to predict future outcomes based on a set of data that they're given. It does require some training and knowledge in statistics to be a good data scientist and to be able to do some mathematical computations. So it does require that. And there are master's programs and PhD programs that help develop those skills. But it is a great career path as well. I also want to point out the business analyst role. That also works with data, but most of the time they're working on solving a business or operational issue and trying to provide a more efficient way to operate a department or a business model. And they still work on evaluating data to help understand and problem solve and answer business questions. They do a lot of relationship building with stakeholders, with other managers across departments, lots of meetings, lots of communication, probably more communication skills are required for a business analyst than a data analyst and a data scientist.
Oh, okay. All right, all right.
So right now, you're probably in a role that does not handle data or does handle data. So I want to hear from you if you want to tell me a little bit about the role that you're in. Rachel, did you want to share?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not working in a data role right now. I'm looking to transition into data, into the data science field. My background is in healthcare, and I'm just trying to transition into data. So all I'm doing right now is basically learning and trying to get insights from people that are doing the jobs in data science or in data analysis. So yeah, right now I still work at a hospital as a medical laboratory scientist.
Okay, that's exciting. Can you tell me about your job duties and what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so I work in a clinical lab, and I'm basically running different tests for hematology in patients and outpatients for the hospital. So I'm basically resulting tests as ordered by doctors and any other clinicians. And yeah, so my work is really mostly lab work, bench work. I'm not really using anything in data. It's more clinical.
Okay, great. Have you considered a role as an epidemiologist?
Yeah, I did. I actually took epidemiology and public health in school, and I have looked into those, and I also did work like in a research lab, so it would be beneficial to like go into epidemiology. But for now, I wanted to get my hands in and just get a feel of what data science is and start learning. But yeah, I've looked into epidemiology. I would just need to go back to school for like a master's degree and most likely a PhD and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Yes, that is a really great role that you can segue into health informatics and look at public health from a completely unique perspective and look at health outcomes. That role also handles a lot of data. And it sounds like you're already handling data with the results you're getting from the lab tests that you're doing. So you do have a lot of transferable skills, which is really great. And even if you've been, for example, in as a nurse, for anyone who's listening to this video, you're working as a nurse and working in a hospital or in a healthcare facility, you are handling data on a day-to-day basis, the patient records. That is data or information at your fingertips. So you do already have some transferable skills in data. What you do want to do, as we're going to see on the next slide, is start to study and pick an area of expertise. I would say about 2 or 3 areas that you want to work on, and think about the area of expertise, and maybe as you're developing your skills and learning, work on projects that help you develop these skills so that you can grow in your skill set. What will get you hired for the job are your skills. So if you can exhibit to an employer that you are already working with data, but you've also learned this in addition to what you already do in healthcare, that will help you on your job search. Me specifically, I have built expertise in these areas that are highlighted in red. So I don't know everything that's on this chart. I just know just a snapshot of some of the areas of expertise that someone can focus on in data analytics.
Okay. And where is this slide again?
I will send you these slides, so I'll make
Okay.
them available. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's really powerful. I'd never thought about, because I'm just resulting or putting out results for patients. And, because I don't deal with the results after the effect, I just never thought about, I'm already handling the data. But yeah, that's powerful to think about that way. So thank you.
Yes. And I also would recommend in your current job, consider asking your manager if you can stretch your skills and work with the team or the individual that analyzes the data. Maybe there is an epidemiologist on the team or another clinical associate. Maybe you can shadow them, set up meetings so that they can show you some of the work that they're doing. That's a great way to learn and build your skills by setting up those times to meet with them and see what they actually do with the data, how they scrub the data and prepare it for reporting and presentations to other people. So I would definitely set some time up with those people at your current job to build those skills as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking me as an RN, I'll have to. That's not a little bit too easy, but I'll probably ask around and find out more about it. But yeah, we do handle data. Patients' information is data, like you said. But to go in depth, I'd probably have to look at what other corporate roles are available and ask some questions.
Yes, that would be a really great first step to get started, to build those skills. And I'm just going to pull up another slide. But before I do so, were there any other questions?
Remember I asked you about the data analytics course that Google has.
Yes.
Is that a good way to start?
Yes. That is a great way. We're going to see it on the next slide, but
Okay.
I want to share that course as well. It is a great way to start building these skills. And that Google Analytics course focuses mainly on building knowledge in R and SQL. So you'll learn programming and build programming skills. You're also going to learn data visualization skills. You'll learn dashboard design, data mining, and data quality. So those are the main skills that you'll learn in that program, similar to what I've highlighted here. And I think that is a great start in building the data analytics expertise that you'll need.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. One of the things I've also done, as you see on the next slide, is learn a tool. So these are examples, not every tool in the universe, but a majority, I'd say 99% of the data tools that people use, analysts use, are listed here. And some of them we've talked about. So on this list, some of these might be familiar to you already, like Power BI, as you've heard, Microsoft Excel, Tableau, and some of them you might not have ever heard of. So you will want to take some time and do a Google search, or even use Chat GPT to look up these tools and research them and see if you can download some of them for free. And some of them are available free of charge for you to download and use. So it's a great way to build your expertise by also learning a tool that does the analytics work with you, and building your skill in the tool will also help you land a great job. You don't have to know all of these tools, but I do recommend knowing at least 3 or 4 of them and setting a goal to learn at least 3 or 4 that are on this list.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That'll make you more marketable.
Yes, yeah. And I also am available to teach you these tools. I specifically have learned and focused on the following tools. So if you want to learn Excel, Power BI, Tableau, R or SQL, Python, or Alteryx, I'm happy to set out additional time in addition to this call for us to get together and meet and actually go over these tools independently of this call. I would give myself probably about 2 to 3 months to learn one tool. You can probably, if your workload isn't that heavy, you can learn more than one tool in that time frame. But I'm happy to teach you and walk you through some resources so that you can build skills in these tools.
Okay. All right.
And go ahead.
No. Just saying okay.
Okay. So in addition to these tools, you also mentioned, what can I do? You can start to learn right away. There on this chart, we see on the slide, there are a couple of resources that I've listed. The first one on the list is a website called DataCamp, and it has a lot of training material. It actually is an interactive website where you log in, you create a user ID and password, and it takes you through tutorials, guided tutorials. These tutorials allow you to try out different softwares without you actually downloading them, and test out some of the features and build your skills in those data softwares, and also build your data skills. So I highly recommend DataCamp. I think their subscription cost is really low. It's like $10 or $15 a month. And they even give you a trial where you could learn free for 30 days if they haven't changed that. But I highly recommend DataCamp, and especially for learning tools like SQL and Tableau. That was the first spot for me that I headed to learn the data tools like SQL. Another one is called Pluralsight. Pluralsight also has a subscription. There's like a 7-day free trial. And Pluralsight offers video recordings. So it's kind of like YouTube. And you watch the videos and you see how to perform the different procedures in the software tools and learn the tool. That's a little bit less hands-on, and it might not be the best way for you to learn, kind of like YouTube if you don't want to just watch a video. But if you're learning something new for the first time, I definitely still recommend it because it's a great way for you to see how something is done, and also will help you in the future as you're problem solving. Maybe you encounter a problem as you're working on a data project. You can use this as a resource to help find the answer of how to do something in the software. And just like YouTube, you can search and find a video on it. Coursera is a little different. It is actually a course, a software company that offers courses a lot cheaper than going back to school, Rachel, to get a master's degree or a PhD. So you can take courses. Some of them are for free, and you can build your skills in a certain area. Maybe you want to learn about databases and learn about SQL. You can take a college level course, and these courses are available on Coursera. Coursera does have a subscription, although some courses are free. That subscription, I believe it's $25 a month. So it's a little bit more than DataCamp and Pluralsight, but I think it's worth it. Coursera even offers you the ability to obtain a degree. So you can take multiple courses that build up to a degree, like another bachelor's degree, or even a master's degree that is recognized in the United States. So it might be cheaper than going through the traditional universities to get a degree in data analytics or data science. Oh yeah, yeah. And last but not least on the list are boot camps. So a lot of different universities and different educational organizations offer boot camps. Usually they're at least 1 month to a year long, so they're different time frames. But you can sign up for a boot camp and learn different data skills. You'll have a dedicated teacher, not just me, but a dedicated professor that can teach you the different skills. And they usually focus on specific software, like Python and R, Tableau and Power BI. So each boot camp is different. They're all not the same, and they might not focus on the tool that you want to learn about. So you just want to check the curriculum of the boot camp if you're thinking of signing up, to see what's in the curriculum, what does the syllabus look like, what will they be covering, and are these tools that are in demand, are they on the list that I just shared? And are these tools that I'm going to learn help give me employment? I think a boot camp is a great way to start. Usually they're about anywhere from $3,000 to $25,000. So they do vary in cost. So you do want to kind of keep that in mind. Are you paying money, like too much money for a boot camp, and compare the cost of the boot camps that are out there? I personally did not do a boot camp because I felt like I was learning a lot on the job already about data. So I didn't need, yeah, I didn't think I needed a boot camp. But because I want to learn more, I am currently looking into a boot camp to learn more skills that I already don't know on that list of expertise, build up more skills in data science so I can become a better data analyst. So the boot camps do help, but sometimes they can be a little pricey, but it's a lot cheaper than getting a master's degree in some cases.
Yeah, because that's way more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so I want to ask, this is our last slide in case you've got any questions.
No, not really. No, I don't have any.
Yeah, I don't have any. I heard you say something about, was it data.com? Datacom? Datacom.
Data
Yeah.
camps.
Data Quest?
Data Camp, that's, I know you can't see the slide, but it is spelled DATACAMP, Data Camp.
Yeah, I got that. I was just wondering if you've heard about Data Quest. It's just like a different platform. The one that I've been using. They also have like an interactive platform where you can go online. They have like a whole path in like data science and business analytics, something like that. So it's what I've been using.
Yes, I have not used Data Quest, but if you are gaining the skills of expertise that are listed on this slide, then I say continue to use it. So there are more resources out there than what's listed on this slide. I would highly recommend that you do continue to use that one as well.
Okay. Also just wondering, there's a lot of people offering these courses online, and all the boot camps from different like schools and all that give out certifications. Does it really matter where you get the certification from? Because I know like Coursera does partner with different universities, and then they'll offer you a certificate. There's something else I think called Great Learning that partners with Harvard and MIT and all these other big schools to do the same thing, like a bootcamp of 6 months. You pay about $5,000 and then get a certificate. Does it really matter where you get it from, or is it just about the skills you have?
It is about two things, the skills you have, but also the resources that that certificate program will offer you when you finish the program. For example, that boot camp for MIT, does it give you access to the career resources and the network, the MIT network? Will you be considered like an MIT graduate when you put that on your resume? Because that looks really great.
Yeah, that would be good.
So those things, they help. They're not the end all be all. If you don't get into like a prestigious boot camp, you can still have a career in data analytics, but it does help if you have access to career resources as a part of the boot camp, and they're actually helping you find a job once you get the certificate.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Coursera does not help you look for a job afterwards, but some of the university boot camps do and will allow you to use their career services.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
All right.
Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, I just want to thank you for taking the time to be on this call, those that joined us today, and also thank you who's viewed this video. Please give this video a like and a thumbs up, comments in the description, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.